Martinez, and I am the president of Conrad's High School Student Voter Empowerment Club. We're honored to welcome you to this Know Your Rights Forum hosted by Conrad's Student Voter Empowerment Club and co-hosted by the Victory Youth Development Foundation. We especially want to thank the Foundation for generously providing the space for this important conversation and for their continued support of the youth and families in this community. The Student Voter Empowerment Club is a high school civics engagement program supported by March to the Polls, a nonpartisan nonprofit that works to educate, empower, and uplift young people, especially first-time voters. Through civic engagement and community action, our goal as student leaders is to create spaces like this where our peers and neighbors can come together to learn, to ask questions, and support the community. Today's panel will focus on the rights individuals and families have when approached by immigration enforcement and what you can do to protect yourself and your loved ones. We'll also explore how to access trustworthy resources, what the process of becoming a citizen looks like, and how anyone, regardless of immigration status, can get involved to address these issues in their community. This conversation is nonpartisan and meant to provide practical information, answer your questions, and empower everyone in the room to be more informed and more connected. After the panel, we invite you to connect with the community organizations that are here today. They're available to share resources, answer questions, and let you know how to get involved or access support. In addition, immigration attorneys will be offering brief, confidential consultations for anyone who would like to discuss their individual situation or ask questions about their status. Let's get started. We are so grateful to be joined by an incredible group of panelists this morning. Now, I'd like to introduce you to our panelists, Andrea Chavarria, Paul Sultan, both highly experienced and respected immigration attorneys here in Dallas, and Ramiro Luna, Executive Director of Somos Texas, and Shannon Hendricks, Executive Director of Heart House. Now we will do brief introductions for each of the panelists here today, and with that, Ms. Chavarria, would you like to start with a 2-minute introduction?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Andrea Chavarria. I'm an immigration attorney, and I mostly focus on family-based cases and removal defense. I'm originally from Mexico. I've lived in the Texas area, was raised right outside of Dallas, so this is my home, and thank you everybody for being here.
My name is Paul Zoltan. I have practiced exclusively immigration law now for over 30 years. I have also, for the last 20, given talks like, we hear a bit of a silence is golden, talks intended to teach people of their rights when confronted by law enforcement, their right, most important, their right to remain silent. And I will address that later on in the panel.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Shannon Hendricks, Executive Director of Heart House, and I've been in the role for a little over a year and a half now, and just simply love the work that we do. We are an educational nonprofit focusing on primarily after-school programs for refugee, immigrant, and other Vickery Meadow children in the after-school space, and then we also have a reading tutoring program this year at McShann Elementary for children who are brand new to the country, and we provide them with a one-on-one tutor every week. I believe that education and relationship are key to helping children succeed here in our school system and in life. And so that's what I've devoted my work to over the last 20 years in different capacities. But thank you for having me here today.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ramiro Luna. I'm the co-founder and executive director of Somos Texas. I come with 20 years of experience in the community organizing and advocacy field. Worked on numerous campaigns before starting Somos Texas as an immigrant. I understand firsthand of our plight and have dedicated my whole life to continue to advocate for our community and provide resources to me as well.
Thank you for those insightful introductions. Your perspective and insights are incredibly valuable on this topic. Students from Conrad High School Student Voter Empowerment Club have come up with several questions for you all. In an effort to keep us on track, we ask that you limit your responses to 2 minutes. Our timekeeper will let you know when you should wrap up your statements to move on. After questions are posed to specific panelists, others can feel free to share their own insights as well. Without further ado, let's start with question number 1. This question will be for Ms. Chavarria and Mr. Sultan. Mr. Sultan, we've heard growing concerns about increased immigration enforcement in North Texas, and many of our friends, neighbors, and classmates are living with the distress of possibly being apprehended or approached by immigration officers at home, at work, or even in public spaces. Mr. Sultan, can you explain what someone's rights are if they're approached by an immigration enforcement officer, and what steps they should take to stay safe in this situation?
I'm going to try very hard to keep my reply short. This is the subject of a 90-minute presentation that I give. Silence is golden. This slide is one of them. To all the other panelists, please, ask your indulgence. I will fall silent after this. But that was the intro I was hoping for. A word before I begin. I am angry, and I use bitter irony. If I use expressions that sound as if I am, as if I share the opinions of those who want to scour this country of undocumented immigrants, that's mistaken. That is not my perspective. I am the son of a refugee. I'm the proud son of a refugee. I am appalled by what is happening now, and I am here to try to give people the tools that they have to keep their families together until this storm passes. The slides that will appear behind me are in Spanish because I give my presentation virtually always in Spanish, this being one exception. I encourage folks, if they are interested in attending a Silence is Golden seminar, please call my office, 214-320-3400, 214-320-3400, or to visit my website, zoltanlaw.com, and contact us that way. I will not post to my website any longer the schedule of Silence is Golden presentations because I fear that with AI technology that in effect that may serve as a homing beacon for ICE as they acquire more and more detention space and set to dividing more and more families. For years, I have struggled against this question that I hear far too often. Can they ask me this? Can the police officer ask me where I'm from? Can they ask me whether I have papers? Can they? And it says, it's the wrong question. Forgive me, it's a stupid question. Of course they can ask you those things. And right now, they perceive it as their job to ask you those things because they have been enlisted, especially in Texas, in the effort to rid this country of 1 out of 20 of its residents. Stop asking, stop whining, learn, and use the right to remain silent. Okay? With this cap on, I can ask you anything I please. I can ask you where you're from. I can ask you the color of your undergarments. I can ask you what you had for breakfast. I can ask you what I want. This doesn't deprive me of my right of expression. But my authority to ask you where you're from has nothing to do with your obligation to answer. You have none. Okay? Let that sink in. The correct answer to any question posed to you by immigration or by law enforcement of any color is this. Listen. Are you detaining me, officer? Can I hear that in chorus, please? Are you detaining me, officer? Are you detaining me, officer? Does it work? Can we go forward 3 slides, please?
Yes, we can.
When ICE conducted its very much ballyhoo raids in Chicago, they didn't actually arrest that many people. And the border czar was mad. He says, in a moment of candor, I don't think you'll ever repeat. Darn it, they knew their rights. Someone got out there and taught them that they didn't have to talk to immigration. And so immigration walked away pretty much empty-handed. I'd like to see a repeat. So, forward, please. 4 slides. Okay, so you were stopped by immigration at what's called a suspicionless checkpoint. This is one of infinite examples of possible encounters with law enforcement. This one here. All right? I need to point out that this is in the interior of the United States. It's not at a border. In the interior of the United States, we all have an inviolable right to remain silent. This officer, ICE Officer Soto, I think it's actually CDP Officer Soto technically, stops the vehicle as he's permitted, okay, and poses questions to the driver as he's permitted to ascertain the driver's immigration status if the driver chooses to divulge this. The driver knows, and Officer Soto knows, that he has no obligation to answer the question. And so begins the dance of, are you detaining me? The driver poses to Officer Soto the question, are you detaining me? And together I'd like to count how many times, it's a 90-second video, how many times the question is posed without a direct reply. Let me get the video, is actually an embedded video.
Oh, okay.
And then I'll be...
R. Soto. Agent R. Soto?
Yes, sir. United States citizen, sir?
Am I being detained, Agent Soto?
It's an immigration check, sir.
Am I being detained, Agent Soto? I'm not. Am I free to go?
It's an immigration
Am I free to go, Agent Soto?
I need to do a...
Am I free to go, Agent Soto?
I have to do my job.
Am I free to go, Agent Soto? Am I free to go, Agent Soto?
You are United States citizen, sir?
Am I free to go, Agent Soto?
Sir, you are United States citizen, sir?
You said I wasn't being detained. Am I free to go, Agent Soto?
You are United States citizen, sir?
Am I free to go, Agent Soto?
You are United States citizen, sir?
Are you refusing? Are you refusing to allow me to go, Agent Soto?
I have authority to ask you. United States, sir?
Are you refusing to allow me to go on my way, Agent Soto?
Sir, can you stop over there and send the license?
Are you refusing to allow me to go on my way, Agent Soto?
My job, sir. Can you stop over there?
Refusing to allow me to go on my way, Agent Soto.
Can you stop over there?
Am I being detained, Agent Soto?
Sir, can you stop over there?
Agent Soto.
Inspection. You need to stop, sir. You are doing an obstruction to my job, sir. Can you stop over there?
All right, so, Agent Soto. What's the matter here? Hearing problem? Do you think Agent Soto has some difficulty hearing? Do you think Agent Soto has any difficulty speaking and understanding the English language? Why then did he not reply to 16 repetitions of the question, are you detaining me, officer? Why? Why will the police officer likewise ignore your question when you ask, are you detaining me, officer? Why? Okay, let's try. Very quickly. Very quickly. Actually, better yet, who would like to volunteer? Just quick. Would you mind? Okay, great. Now, we're going to explore what happens when I invoke my right to remain silent. When I ask you if you're detaining me, and you as the police officer, I want you to answer first negatively, and then positively. Pose to me any question you please.
Where are you going?
Are you detaining me, officer?
I'm asking you where you're going.
Are you detaining me, officer?
No, I'm not.
Thank you, sir. All right. Sorry, man. All right. So we established. To the police officer, is it at all convenient to say, I am not detaining you? Right. No, because I walk away. Now, I want to add something. Her not detaining me, it enables me to walk away. It doesn't compel me to do that, okay? Look, I'm no anarchist. If she wants to know who was in the 7-Eleven at 11 o'clock last night wielding a gun, I'm not going to walk away, all right? Once it's established that I am not being detained, that is to say, I am not the suspect, I'm very likely to remain long enough until I feel, whoa, too close, and then I'm out of here. Understand? Okay, that's when are you detaining me, officer, resumes. Okay? I'm not saying block the police, right? But are you detaining me? No. I'm out of here if I believe that I am the one who's under any suspicion. Moving on. Let's try this when the answer is yes. Pose to me any question you like.
Where are you going?
Are you detaining me, officer?
Yes.
Pause. When does a police officer have the authority to detain me, to deprive me of my liberty of movement? When? Any ideas?
Confession or yeah.
When the officer reasonably suspects that I have committed or am committing a crime. Okay. Now, in the moment when you realize, or has an arrest warrant, obviously. In the moment when in the moment when you realize that the officer reasonably thinks they reasonably suspect you of having committed a crime, is that the moment to speak freely with the officer? How are you doing? Have a nice day, nice weather, chat them up, right? When they suspect you of committing a crime, it's not the time to chat them up, now is it? When you know that an officer suspects you of committing a crime, and that is what they signal when they say, I am detaining you.